So we must do two things, two great things together to encompass that enormous new view that lies before us, but to encompass it within the framework of science, to see it within the whole categorical framework of science, and to see that these two are not separate, but that they are wedded. The bigness of the idea, the newness of the idea, the greatness of it is one with the structure of science, the structure of being itself. We were talking about Joseph, and there are actually 3 instances in the mind tone in which the appearance of an angel comes to Joseph, indicating that same kind of information and source of information. And the really beautiful thing is that you can see that his attitude was a reflection of life, truth, and love, because the thought would come to him of what to do, and then he did it. He would do it. Now that's a novel idea. That he did it, and then the text would express in one or another way that what happened was as it was promised to him. You see? So the thought came to him what to do. This is the impulsion of life. Then he did it. That's the factuality of truth. And the result was it was as the promise had been. That's certainly love. Yeah. Let's just sort of recap now and see that we have taken mind as mind and mind as spirit, that we had that impulsion of life in mind as the creative mind, manifesting itself, coming as a line of light, bringing its own idea, you see, into the limelight, into the forefront. And then mind as spirit, that idea which was brought forth by the impulsion of life is actually truth's own saving idea. It's the Savior. It is the Emmanuel, or God with us. Life says, I impel everything that has gone before, the whole ascending line of light, and truth says, so that what appears now is absolutely right. It's the right form for the moment, the right form for the age. It's the saving idea, the form of the saving idea. So now we can go on to love, life, truth, and love. When we come to love, we know that we have touched the attractor. We've touched the goal, and that is mind coming in at the point of mind as soul. We have that goal, really, which always has to do with something about the purpose that has been built into life and truth, the sense of the completeness of what has been going on with life and truth, that goal which has been set really in its completeness to begin with, and has been informing life and truth as to what needs to be impelled, what needs to be factualized. Okay? So the goal now is really that the idea would forever be protected, would be safe. That the idea actually is safe and would forever be safe. So it's the impulsion, really, or the attraction of love to the fulfillment of its idea, being made manifest in the safety of soul. So the idea is protected by love. Can you hear how beautifully they go together, soul and love, in the safety and the protection, huh? If something is protected, it's safe. Yeah. If it's safe, it is protected. So the idea is established in its safety. And here we have that story really of, it's the story of the wise men. You know that the wise men came and having to do with the protection of the idea, because those wise men were led by mind. That's really what made them wise. And also, again, you see, Joseph, the angel speaking to Joseph, told him to take the mother and the child into Egypt. Very interesting, because Egypt ordinarily would not be something that you would connect with safety. Huh? You'd want to stay in your own land. And yet here we see that Joseph is informed in a dream, again, to take the mother and child to Egypt. And it's, again, a divine message, you see, the bringing of that information of mind, that message of mind. Love doing that. I love that. And always for the sake of safeguarding the idea of keeping it safe. And after they had been there for a certain length of time, but they were there, yes, and they were there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the Lord by the prophet, saying, "Out of Egypt have I called my son." So Herod had killed, you recall, he had killed all the children in Bethlehem and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under. A terrific symbol of 2 years old and under. You see, they hadn't reached that standpoint of soul. They hadn't reached the 3 or the 3.5, the safety of soul, the certainty of soul. But Mary and Joseph had been led to take them out of that whole area before he knew what was even going to happen. There's your backwards causation. By taking them into a land that looked like it would be a danger and something that would be detrimental, really kept them in safety. So you hear a lot of the indication of the spiritual sense within Joseph, that he listened, that he didn't use his physical sense, his human sense, his personal sense to figure out what to do, but that he was very, very open to mind as soul and to the spiritual intuition that was coming to him. It says, "But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt." So now he was getting the information saying, "Arise and take the young child and his mother and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life." And so they returned to Israel, and he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophets, "He shall be called a Nazarene." So all of that led him to Nazareth. He actually talks about him returning to Galilee and the points of Galilee. Galilee is a wonderful cybernetic symbol. It means circle. Whenever you read about Jesus going throughout all Galilee, you have this sense of him moving within the cybernetic circle and performing his teaching and his healing later on in the story. So here you see how he is brought back into that very area, or that symbol called Galilee, and Nazareth being a part of that. So everything leads him back to that point. That is mind as soul. The true idea of the parent mind is always protected, always safe, has always been safe. That's what love would say, and that love would set all the circumstances to bring that about, to factualize that. All right. How would this concern us? How can we see that in terms of our life? A new idea is being born to us. Huh? Actually, it's being born every moment. That new idea, that new Christ idea is being born to us. And its origin is in the one mind. That origin is in the one mind. It has been set and prepared and preconceived by love. And so life is impelling that idea upon us. It isn't just a happening. It isn't just a chance that we would sense it, would be touched by it. But we can know that that law of life, truth, and love is impelling that new idea on our consciousness. It is the saving idea. That's what truth says. Truth says, I'm going to show you that this idea is Emmanuel. It will always be with you. It'll be with you every moment. You can't lose it. You can't use it up. There's nothing that cannot be answered by it. And this is the Emmanuel, the saving idea, the Christ idea, and it's going to save you from everything that is not the saving idea. Every situation, every circumstance, for all of that, this is the Savior. Then love would come in, which is really mind as soul, and say that as you mother that, as you care for that, whether you're a man or a woman, a Joseph or a Mary, take care of that, love that idea, its safety is established. Its safety will always be protected, and it's gathering more and more its identity within you. And that identity will always be safe. Something like that. The purpose of love, the goal of love, would be that Emmanuel would be safely established within us. You see? That was love's goal. That love would utilize all the faculties, all the facilities of life and truth to bring that forth through mind, through the one mind. Isn't that a beautiful structure? So the identity of mind's manifestation is love's idea. Love one with its own idea.